Listen, bitch, let's get this podcast started. I've been coaching a relationship class and it is fire. You still have time to get in. You can catch the replays. Totally worth it. But one of the things that I'm talking about is honesty, total honesty within yourself, to yourself, for yourself, about yourself, and radical honesty to the people in your life. Okay. This is related to a special level of self awareness. Okay. It's important to be able to see yourself as you truly are. This is crucial to your personal growth. And that's what we're here to do in our human experience. We know we wanted to enjoy all of the emotions and just life in general, incredibly so. We chose this. So, how do we become the best versions of ourselves so we can maximize our experience here? Okay. It's a fast ride here, people, being human, and nobody gets out alive. So, we want to make the most of these moments. And once you see the truth, like this radical honesty, you can fully develop your natural talents. And this is how you can use your natural passions. You guys are struggling to figure out what the fuck your passions are. These are ways that you start to, you know, take the cover off of everything that's inside of you. This is how we're going to find what that great success and fulfillment are and mean to you. There's a crazy quote, and I don't remember who. I know I suck. I don't remember whose it is, but knowing others is wisdom, knowing yourself is enlightenment. Okay. I read that in some book I was reading. I don't even know at this point, but self-awareness is hard. It is hard. Okay. That's why we exhaust ourselves caring for other people and doing all this shit and, committing ourselves, stretching ourselves thin, worrying about everybody else. And we think this is the whole saint mother, like you're the greatest because you're taking care of everybody before yourself. Because bitch, that's a way for you to stay in victim mode. Okay. So the more you keep taking care of everyone else, the more you're expecting people to feel sorry for you and to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And when they don't, you're pissed off. And when they do, you're pissed off. So you're not winning either way. Like you're exhausted, you're tired, you're frustrated. You have to start taking care of yourself. And that's the problem. It is so hard to look at ourselves that it's easy. It's easy to find fault with other people and you can put your finger on exactly what they're doing wrong. But when it comes time to you, here's the challenge. Okay. Instead of admitting mistakes, we're tempted to try and escape them by making excuses and we're justifying bullshit actions. Okay. Or maybe you're just ignoring it. You've signed off on the bullshit and you distract yourself with, drugs, alcohol, shopping, spending, sex, whatever it is that keeps you from actually focusing on the core of the problem. Alternately, you might depend on the recognition and admiration. This is going to help mask your faults. Okay. I literally was scrolling through Instagram looking for topics tonight on for my Two Truths and a Lie podcast. And I saw this post that one of these coaches that I follow put up, and he's like, here's a picture of me looking like I'm this great family man, and he's battling a drug addiction. Okay. And nobody knew. Nobody knew. Here I am in front of a crowd telling them how great and successful I am and teaching them all the things. And I was a fraud. Like he talks about how he was battling these things his whole life. But his highlight reels, he called himself out on that. Okay. So he was getting all this recognition, all the admiration. He was saying and doing all the right things. But what was the truth in his life? Okay. This is why you have to find more people like me. We are not hiding the struggle. Okay. We're not hiding the bullshit. We take you through the raw truth because at the end of the day, that's all we have. It's you and your truth. That's it. Your mind starts to learn to motivate you by external praise rather than the greater reward of living a lifestyle that reflects your core ethics and values. We want the pat on the back instead of just leaning into celebrating our own natural abilities. And I'm going to be honest, as a parent, that's the last thing you're going to get is a pat on the back. They're going to stab you in the heart a million times before you get any kind of holy shit, mom. I imagine my kids are going to be 40 or 50 years old before they have any sort of gratitude or appreciation for what I've gone through from them. Absolutely, in their lifetime, it's going to be a lot of healing and trauma and blame before they can become self-aware to face their own truths and actually appreciate all of the healing I did. in spite of the mistakes I made, 1,000%. And I fuck up all the time, you guys. I have hurt my kids. Absolutely. I it's impossible to be a parent and never fuck up, okay? But that's it. Once you learn the truth, and the truth is we're all going to keep fucking up. We all make mistakes. We don't need the pats on the back. We're doing this for ourselves. We're finding the truth because we, at our core, want to become the best versions of ourselves possible. One life, bitch. That's all you get here. And it might be challenging to find the truth, but when you start taking off the layers and discovering who you are, this is going to help you determine those self-defeating behaviors, okay? That's you start recognizing the pattern in the habits that you have and the actions that you take. And then we start becoming aware of our motivation. Knowing your motives is not always easy, but it's essential 100%. If you really want to come into the light of self-awareness, when you say something to someone, ask yourself why you said it. Actually, even better, why don't you ask the question before you say it? If you're going to say something to someone, ask yourself why. Like if your friends are talking about their fear of roller coasters, okay? You're tempted to barge in and be like, "Oh my god, I fucking love roller coasters." But before you speak, I want you to ask yourself why you want to say it. And I'm talking about this because I have the issue, okay? I do this. And is this because you feel superior to them? I I am not proud, and it's part of the emotions that I'm trying to deal with processing through my next level of growth is to see that I've done this. My toxic trait is when I hear people talking, I say something that is the opposite every single time, all the time. And absolutely, it's feeding my ego. So I've learned to just pause for a second and I ask myself, why are you saying this? Is it important? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it supportive? If you blurt it out, I mean, you're likely going to find it creates an amount of tension there. And maybe they're going to resent you for being better off than them. They might just play the game of win and lose with you and bring up something you're afraid of. That's it. You can get into this vicious cycle over and over and over. And this is just one example. There's a million other examples. I want you to start being aware of your intentions. And there's people that I work with that I know not to say anything in front of. Okay. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. Okay. I'm talking to someone and I say something like, I was telling one of my regulars, I'm literally telling him why my husband and I stopped drinking. Okay. All of a sudden, this person, not even in our conversation, and this happens consistently, barges in and just talks about their stuff. Well, I couldn't even finish my story. And we're just kind of looking at each other like, what the fuck just happened? Okay. This happens. People want to talk about themselves. And you can see the people that don't give a fuck about you, okay? Because they're always going to talk about themselves. You can be having any kind of conversation. And that is what brought this into my awareness. When I started recognizing that in these people, I knew in that moment, like, bitch, this is you. You do this. You do this. And it's ugly and it's uncomfortable and it's annoying and it's fucking rude, to be honest. Self centered, selfish, just ugh. Okay it leaves a nasty taste in your mouth. And that's what I was doing. I was that same person. When you start recognizing these faults in other people, it's a message for you to recognize this in yourself. Okay. The shit that annoys you that other people do is something you need to call out in yourself. It's a really fucked up, it's a fucked up circle of life. Okay. But now I've learned to slow down. Okay. I don't insert myself in these conversations. I call myself out on the intentions. And it's even the same thing when my kids are having a conversation and I want to say something about, uh, something about my struggle. Okay. Because at the end of the day, my perspective, my truth is that my kids have it really fucking grand. Okay. At 12 years old, rights were signed off on me. I emancipated at the age of 15. That means I was out on my own, paying rent with jobs, trying to go to school by myself. Okay. Like emancipated, done, out. I'm not a ward of the state. I don't have parents anymore. Like this was my reality. I look at these girls and their babies and they have it easy. Okay. And I always have this temptation when they're talking, and I've done it, where I want to say something just to bring it up. Like, girl, you know what I was doing at your age? And why am I doing that? It wasn't to inform them or, share my life with them on a journey of opening up. It was a superior motive of just like, oh my God, you have it easy. I kicked ass. You know, that's not fair. And it's not okay. So call yourself out on the bullshit. I'm showing you guys the vulnerability, the ridiculousness. That is the Brandon Lynette mind. Okay. Stop being afraid to call yourself out on the bullshit. Absolutely. Outside of knowing your motivation, it's important to know your intention. So now I think about intentions when I'm talking to people or I take any kind of action. What is my intention? Okay. Your objective set off a chain of events, negative or positive, depending on what your focus is. So if we think about this, okay, my daughter used to she used to joke about she was just going to marry a really rich guy and drive a G-Wagon and be a soccer mom. Okay. Her boyfriend is absolutely not that guy. He's great. They've been together for a really long time. We love him, but she's not going to have the soccer mom life. Okay. Um, but if we look at that, her secret intention was to hook a wealthy boyfriend. She never cared to say what his personality would be or what he would look like, because that would go against the intention that she set for her inner self. Okay. She's likely to invite disastrous results. And maybe the man that she wanted to attract is looking for some way to gain from the relationship, regardless of the cost to, the girl that's looking to hook the rich boyfriend. In the end, it's not going to work out because intentions blow up in your face. Okay. Because they're not focused on what they really need for happiness to thrive. So we knew that no matter how much she was saying that just to get a reaction, this was never going to be her reality. Okay. She was never going to hook just a rich guy for being a rich guy, 100%. Okay. Um, but that's an example. It's an example of watching out for your intentions and your motivations, because the stuff will blow up in your face if you are not building relationships in your life and social networking based on the core and the truth of who you are. It's fucking exhausting. It's exhausting because you have to put in an effort when you are not being yourself. Do you know how effortless it is to wake up and be Brandon Lynette? I don't have to fake shit for anyone unless we have to be around my husband's family. And then, we're going to bring it. We have to bring in that fake shit. And that's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it's important to be mature and not real, but we don't want to fake it at life, you guys. Absolutely not. It is exhausting. And I tell people all the time, like, even at work as a bartender, I am never faking my feelings. Absolutely, my face tells the truth every single time. And am I intentionally rude? Absolutely not. But I have boundaries and I don't put up with bullshit. Okay. You don't get to be rude. You don't get to be selfish. You don't get to interrupt people. You don't get to overspeak everybody at the bar. Like, there are rules to follow. And I set the boundaries there. I set that intention. I don't have to be fake. I can be myself. And the people that love to come in absolutely see that and respect that. Okay. When you are self-aware, you can really face your intentions and you can change them any way you would like. Anything that is going to fit your soul, anything that is going to fit who you are at the end of the day, anything that's going to match the face that you have to look at in the mirror every night. Okay. And recognize these patterns. It is absolutely a pattern. We've created them from past experiences, and we a lot of times keep acting in the same way without even realizing it. Okay. When you start setting the intention to become self aware, you recognize the patterns and you start to keep the ones that help you. And then you're going to form new patterns that are going to help contribute to where you're headed. That's it. So we've got someone who is lonely and insecure, and their idea of a good time is to attract attention. Okay. So maybe he's arrogant, loud, flamboyant, bossy, but this is going to create the opposite effect. He's going to drive people away instead of being recognized and loved. That's it. He's shutting down people coming to him, okay? When you start recognizing these internal templates, okay, you can see what no longer serves you, then you take the steps to change them. When you use the guidelines, this is where you started on the path of self-awareness that's going to bring you that fulfillment that I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast. And when you uncover new behaviors and patterns, you're going to ask yourself if that's what you really want. It takes self-awareness to create a life that you want, okay? And you are the creator. We're co-creating with God. You chose this. And if you don't like where you've been or you don't like where you see yourself going, then change it. It is that simple as making a choice and deciding. And it is that simple as committing to the habits that are going to change the direction you're headed. If you need tools to help you, please reach out to me. Microdosing psilocybin is something that has helped me 1,000%, not just on my journey of self awareness, but with my issues of anxiety, with my issues of, self depression, with my issues of, I said self depression. It's been a long day, bitch. These long days, I don't know what's going on in my life, but they are definitely catching up to me. So, whatever it is, bitch, microdosing has helped a ton. It definitely helps with my self-reflection, my self-awareness, my self-esteem, all of the above. And it's helped me see those patterns. It's helped me become someone who is not reactive. I can maturely manage my experience by allowing my emotions to be present and to have their life 1,000%. Okay. Um, that's it. You guys can reach out to me. Like I said, everybody's getting, all my messages are going to spam. So make sure Brandon Lynette, uh, BrandonLynette.com is on your favorites list in your email box. Okay. I'll see you bitches tomorrow.